patented clockwork mechanical man does everything but live.
Schlock Awe. As always, I'm Lindsay. And this week, we're going back to our past. Well, if you're alive in the 80s and watching movies, you watch some fucked up things. It's kinder trauma, as it were, because we are doing Don Bluth's All Dogs Go to Heaven. It's weirder than you think it's going to be. And Walter Murch, his only directorial movie, Return to Oz. Yeah, we're going to get into some really interesting places. And here with me to go back to where it all kind of was weird is she's a musician, she's a kickboxer, she's an awesome person. It is Meryl Streep herself. Hello, Wendi.
Hey, friends. How's it going?
Thank you so much for coming on. I think I was like screwing around with Return to Oz, and you're like, yeah, I'll do something with that. And then I think you said you hadn't seen it since you were a kid.
Right? Yeah, I hadn't seen, because I mean, when I saw it, I remember it would be on cable, and I just remember like feeling creeped out about it, like really creeped out by it, you know. So I wanted to revisit that, and I wanted to revisit All Dogs Go to Heaven, because I remember that as being particularly upsetting too. So
and both of them are like just in very different ways. Actually, yeah, this is what we were watching back as kids. If you're like in your like late 30s, 40s, early 50s, this is kind of the stuff you're watching as a kid, and a lot of it's really upsetting, like really upsetting. So thank you for coming on. We might as well jump into it. The curtains are opening. We're about to watch All Dogs Go to Heaven. What is going to be your trailer for that movie, Wendi?
My trailer is going to be the Warren Beatty film Heaven Can Wait.
Well, you guys made a mistake.
There is no mistake.
Well, anybody can make a mistake.
I want to check out on Joseph Pendleton. When is he due to arrive?
Pendleton Joseph, due to arrive 10:17 a.m., March 20th of the year 2025.
Hey, so he jumped the gun. Anybody could have done that. Just put me back where you found me.
Joe, we can't put you into another man's body.
Are you kidding? You're gonna put me into the body of another man?
Hey, it's me. Inwardly, you haven't changed. You're still Joe Pendleton. That's what you and I see. But outwardly, you're Leo Farnsworth, and that's what everyone else will see.
Mr. Farnsworth.
It works. Of course.
What in God's name's that?
Max, I'm not Farnsworth. I'm Joe Pendleton. Farnsworth was murdered by his wife and his private secretary. This is just a body they found for me. Don't you understand? They drugged him, they stuck him in a bathtub, and then I stepped in.
Darling, listen to me. There is nothing to be frightened of. There's plenty to be worried about, but there is nothing to be frightened of.
Because it's so weird. Like there's a subgenre of movies about people like leaving heaven, you know, or tricking angels, or doing whatever so they can get down and like finish whatever their mission was, you know. Like obviously we talk about how much we love Powell and Pressburger and how much we love A Matter of Life and Death. Like that is like the pinnacle of this genre. But Heaven Can Wait is excellent as well. And so yeah, like I always like that kind of like I just got to get back to earth. I just got to like, you know, patch things up with my wife or do whatever, you know, run a casino for dogs, you know.
Really important to run a casino for dogs, as we will get into. No, I still need to see this. Like, I really, it's kind of that Warren Beatty blind spot. A footballer or something in that movie, or it goes into the body of a footballer. I can't quite remember.
Yeah, I think he's a football player. Yeah. It
sounds like one of those really charming 1970s comedies I really need to go and actually watch. And no, that is perfect, because you're right. There is a complete subgenre of people having to go back after they have died to fix something so they can finally be at peace.
Or like defending your life. Like that's another
Yes.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I love defending your life. I know even something like It's a Wonderful Life kind of fits in with that, because you got this guy imagining, okay, so if I was never born, what would life be like? And apparently it is dog casinos all over the place with, I cannot remember the town in It's a Wonderful Life, but when you go back and it's all like the sleazy,
Pottersville.
and it's all the sleazy like neon lights, and I was just like, yes. And then the dog casino is just right around the corner. That completely fits with that. But yeah, there's always that kind of moral tale of kind of getting your second chance and getting it right. So yeah, that is a perfect trailer, because my trailer is absolutely in this genre, and that is Oh Heavenly Dog from 1980.
I want to buy protection for someone, and I know you'll be discreet.
But before he can track down the clues, the witnesses, the evidence, or the suspects, there's some good news and some bad news. The good news is...
Call me on Friday.
He's going to make a date.
Call you Friday.
The bad news is he's going to be late.
Now, if you just sign here...
What am I signing?
You're acknowledging that you are dead and you agree to all the terms and conditions thereof.
But, incredibly enough, there's more news.
Final assessment assignment is to go back and solve your own murder.
Go back. Excuse me. Wait a minute, those are animals. I'm not going back as an animal.
And now...
Hello?
He's back.
Maybe you remember me. I was killed here.
Somewhat shorter.
I need a clue.
But wiser.
A pair of hands.
With 48 wild and woolly hours to solve his own murder or die again trying.
I don't know how to explain Benji to people. I barely remember
Wait,
Benji.
was George Burns in that one? Oh no, George
it was
Burns
Chevy
is in Oh
Chase.
God.
Yeah, that's
All right,
an Oh God. Chevy
okay.
Chase is a private detective who was murdered. So to come back and to solve his own crime, he goes into the body of Benji the dog, which was a famous dog actor, and therefore proceeds to hit on Amanda Seymour. No, Jane Seymour, sorry. And it is like the 80s were weird. Like, I know everyone has this really nostalgia for it, but when you actually kind of look between the kind of the smaller movies and between the cracks of like the Back to the Futures and the everything else, it was weird.
So my apex of upsetting animal movies is, of course, Watership Down. So I feel like we have to rate everything on a scale of Watership Down versus like every other movie, you know. Like that, and the Plague Dogs, of course, the Plague Dogs also, but that's the same writer.
I've never seen Plague Dogs yet, and I'm happy not to, because I still remember being very young at a neighbor's place and their dad going, hey, we'll watch a movie about rabbits. And I was so excited because I like rabbits. And then you watch Watership Down and you're like, oh no, what the hell is this?
I have a tattoo of Fiverr. I have a Watership Down tattoo. That's how much I love. That's how upsetting that movie is. So much I love it.
No, that's the thing. I mean, this is the thing with Return to Oz. I think it kind of seeped, as we'll get into, it kind of seeped into sort of my being. And even though it still upsets me, it's a movie I love, and that's definitely Watership Down, because like when you really watch it, it was, oh, this is straight up rabbit murder. It is an apocalyptic.
Yes.
Holocaust
and
movie.
Rabbits selling each other out to humans to get killed. Like, oh,
rabbits hanging from wire. I'm like, oh my God, this is nightmare fuel. And yeah, getting into Don Bluth, I think he kind of sits in the middle of this. Like, I read
The Secret of Nim is also not an easy watch.
No, it's not. Like, as a kid with Don Bluth, I would probably watch Land Before Time over and over again, which does have some upsetting moments in it. Like the mother getting killed by the T-Rex. But then there's a sweet movie about baby dinosaurs making it to a new home. But then I went back and watched like An American Tail, which again is not an easy watch. I don't think All Dogs Go to Heaven is an easy watch at times.
Don Bluth, the acclaimed director of two of the most popular animated films of all time, An American Tail and The Land Before Time, now takes you on his most magical adventure ever. All dogs go to heaven. But only one dog ever came back.
Hi, Charlie.
Hi. Will you shut up? I'm alive.
Charlie, it's really you.
The story of a canine con artist with a second chance at life, who became a little girl's only chance for happiness.
I'm an orphan.
A little girl who talks to animals.
Could you please tell me which one of you is going to win today's race?
All dogs go to heaven.
Because when Burt Reynolds' dog gets murdered, that is a proper murder. That is not like
Yes.
Even Lion King, which I was surprised at the time, like, oh, they're really killing Mufasa. No, that is proper planned. I'm going to put you in front of car to kill you. It's not like it doesn't look like an accident. It's an absolute murder.
Yeah, and also like the animation of those dogs is so like gritty and ugly, you know?
Yes.
Like I was surprised by that as well. I was like, they're so intentionally like grotesque. All the dogs, most of the dogs in that movie.
They really are. Yeah, even like Carface, whatever the bad guy is, I thought he was a cat the first time I saw him. I thought he was like a big, ugly cat. I thought the whole thing, oh wait, they're gonna find out he's a cat, not a dog. No, he was just a bulldog. He was just drawn really ugly.
Do you think that's kind of like well, I mean like Ralph Bakshi, that's kind of like a holdover from that sort of 70s animation kind of thing?
Yeah, it really, I mean, Don Bluth is really fascinating because again, he started at Disney, didn't like it because it was too cute. And he didn't, plus apparently he's a complete control freak. So, you know, trying to get your way at Disney, I can't imagine what would have been easy. But he does kind of a cutesy way of drawing it. Everything's kind of cute, but then you've got this Ralph Bakshi 70s kind of ugliness that is kind of off-putting, but yet these big eyes that you're like, okay, no, I recognize this. This is Disney. And then something really awful happens.
Like those parents, I felt the way that the parents were drawn was very much, it was very sort of like you know, the way that like the parents in Peter Pan or the parents that, you know, like they had a very Disney parent look to them.
They did. Yes, with the pink dress and sort of everything like that. And Anne Marie looks like a Snow White kind of with the jet black hair and the bow and everything. She looks very Snow White.
The giant blue eyes, the gigantic blue eyes. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Much like Fairuza Balk when we'll talk later.
These big eyes that just like, I need to protect this child at all costs. Why is she in this much danger? You know, how does, oh man. Yeah, because as you said, things like Secret of Nim is not an easy watch. This is not an easy watch at times. The American Tail is definitely not an easy watch. I remember just sobbing my eyes out when Fievel is separated from his parents. Like apparently it goes west I'm fine with because that's a lot cuter. It's more Dom DeLuise. But this one is heart-wrenching. It like actually there's a realism, even though they're animals, there's realism to it. So when you have this movie, which is Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise, you know, yucking it up as dogs, he's murdered by his business partner after escapes from prison, then goes to heaven, but finds out there's this magic clock where you can just turn back and become immortal, so he can go back down to earth. And what he does is goes, no, I'm going to build my own casino with hookers. Oh, wait, forget the casino. Like, it's that Bender joke from Futurama. Like,
again, blackjack and hookers.
Yes. Forget the blackjack. Like,
I had the question about their sense of commerce. Like, why do these dogs need human money when they already deal in like steaks and stuff? They already deal in like bones and dog.
See, this is a very good question because I couldn't get past the why are they betting on horses? Why are they betting on the races? Yeah, so you've got Burt Reynolds playing Charles, who is an Alsatian who apparently loves to gamble. And then they just find this random child who's already been kidnapped because she can speak to other animals. So animals can't speak to each other, but they can speak to their own species. And they want to bet, but they understand. And I don't know, if you look too deeply into this movie, I think it gets way too going. It makes you go cross-eyed because you're like, wait, what? There's a lot of
my other question is, do you think that little girl really had some sort of power where she could hear all the animal languages, or do you think it was like some sort of Mary Poppins thing where like all little kids have that until they hit a certain age and they become adults?
I don't know. It doesn't really answer that. You just have to kind of accept that she's there and she's talking to everyone. And she's the sweetest little girl on the planet. She's an orphan, because of course, and she's in rags and she looks like Snow White. And so it's kind of this thing of the Disney princess of they can somehow always speak or sing to animals. Like they've always got that gift. Like if you watch Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, Snow White, it's all there. They sing to animals and then those animals make her a dress. But this one's kind of more industrial. Like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe all kids, I would like that. Like I thought I could talk to animals when I was a kid. They just kept ignoring me and I was very upset.
I thought I could catch squirrels. That didn't work either.
Yes, I tried to catch a hedgehog once at the back garden and it just would not go into its house, and that was very sad. Kept stealing lettuce from the fridge and my mother got very annoyed with me. I did enjoy this movie. I don't think I'd seen it since it came out. I have a vague memory of going to see it when it came out, but I hadn't seen it since then. And all I remember is, oh yeah, that was the one Burt Reynolds was in. And then you're watching it, I'm like, wait, I know that other voice. That's Dom DeLuise. They're going to laugh in a minute, and they did. Yeah, late 80s, Burt Reynolds just talked Dom DeLuise everywhere.
It's interesting also, this is like that era, like we, at a certain point, like all these movies gave up on voice actors and they all just went with celebrities,
Yeah.
And that's like the downfall of animation voices, definitely. It's like losing all those like great, those guys who could do like 100 different voices or something, instead now you've got like Justin Bieber or whatever, like some big name person like being a cartoon voice. And and it's like, well, they were doing that in the 80s too, but it's like Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise are just funnier at it. I don't know.
I don't know, because they always credit with Robin Williams doing the genie and Aladdin as that was kind of the model that everyone started taking from, of using the big celebrity. But you're right, they were doing it all through the 80s. Don Bluth loved to use a minor celebrity, or Burt Reynolds was actually like insanely famous at this time. So he was a minor. But yeah, no, I think apparently they just left them in a booth and so they could improvise, which doesn't surprise me. I think they just kind of bantered off each other. They kind of used the script as like a guideline, and then they just kind of riff it because they were genuine friends and they like to hang out. So yeah,
it's the Adam Sandler movie model.
Yes, it's like get your friends, go on holiday, and make a movie. And did you make it up on the day? Yes, what you did. I'm glad you noticed, kind of thing. But yeah, it's got so many pieces together that it doesn't make sense, because before we recorded we both had, you said you had this memory of it was the little girl who had died and the animals were helping her to get back to heaven, but it's not.
Right, I could have sworn there was like some sort of like twist where the girl was dead the whole time or something. I could have sworn that was how I remembered this movie.
Yes, and Marie, which unfortunately for Judith Barassi, unfortunately did pass away before this movie came out. Her father was a blah. Yeah, really sad. Like as soon as I heard her voice, I was like, "Oh man, I know that voice. That's Ducky. I'm sad now." It's so that's maybe that the whole thing works into it. But when you watch it, you realize, no, it's Charles the Alsatian who's murdered, and instead of coming back for proper revenge or to finish something, or he does learn how to be a good dog by the end of the movie. Try to actually be a parent to the kid, but saves the kid, but it's kind of this weird thing of, no, I'm going to come back and I'm going to gamble more because now I'm immortal. And then so the bad guys try to kill him again, and they built a laser gun.
Yes, yeah,
laser gun ?
And it's like a Flash Gordon laser gun. They note that it's a Flash Gordon laser gun. Like I just imagine something they got from like a cereal box or something. I don't know how dogs get laser guns.
Oh, Bill, yeah, it's all that kind of weird stuff, and it's kind of this one element here. But then they find Anne Marie, and she can talk to animals, or she's a kid, or they just found that orphan, and so they use her to bet on the horses, and they promise her all these things and they don't really that they know they're never going to give her, like, we're going to find you a family. But it's this weird Dickensian thing, but it's got all these like different things piled up because there isn't enough story, so we have to add this other really weird element to it. So I can imagine when Little Mermaid came out the same year, people were just like, oh, Howard Ashman wrote the music to this is great. This is so simple. Mermaid wants to be human, falls in love with boring prince, let's go. Like, it's doesn't have that same kind of, wait, what's happening now in this kind of element to it.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's that sequence where he goes to hell. Like,
Yes.
that was freaky.
Yeah, apparently that was meant to be longer and they actually cut it out. I was like, oh man, jeez.
They spared us.
Yeah, it's kind of, look, the 80s were weird, and I'm just sort of wondering if it was because the PG-13 now existed, like after that year of like Gremlins, Ghostbusters, Temple of Doom, that all these other kind of people who are making family movies went, oh wait, we can push it a little bit. We don't have to be cute anymore. We don't have to do cat aliens or what Disney's live action kind of model was, which we'll get into how that went all weird. But now we can like do dogs going to hell, and you're like, but I thought dogs went to heaven. Though I was told that at the beginning of the movie. It's the title of the movie. Like, why are we in hell?
Do you remember a movie called Animal Olympics?
No.
There was this one movie, it was this animated movie called Animal Olympics, and I loved it so much. And it was just like all these animals, like they're following their storylines in the Olympics, or different, like different stories of heartbreak or whatever as their athletes. But the whole thing was like the entire soundtrack was done by 10cc.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and so I think there was like some sort of like hold up with the music rights or something for all these years, but like they finally re-released it, and that was like a very weird 80s animation style, but like the music is great and it's really enjoyable. I think the entire thing is on YouTube as well. But Animal Olympics, I love that one.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check that out because, yeah, it was the movies I was going to in the 80s, which I was very young, so I had very bad memories of it, with things like The Rescuers, a lot of Don Bluth, probably movies I definitely shouldn't have gone been. Well, actually, I remember seeing Ghostbusters 2. I don't remember seeing Ghostbusters 1, but it was, yeah, it was kind of these big, darker, kind of edgy, even something like Batman. I'm remembering a lot of 1989. You got the Joker and the Ooze. It was kind of things that I don't think they would take a 7-year-old to go see, but in 89, that was the norm.
Well, like, I mean, even like being taken to see E.T.
Yeah,
like that is scary. Like my parents, I went to see Close Encounters in the theater. I went to see Poltergeist when I was way too young.
Wow.
Like all these movies of the 80s, these Gen X, we had a very different childhood.
Yeah, I was in this very, if you had to watch Don Bluth and The Last Unicorn or read Stephen King when you were far too young, you're going to be a certain kind of person. That is Gen X and the beginning of the millennials.
Yes. And Last Unicorn is a beautiful movie too.
It is. That's terrifying.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so here's my question. Do you think that Don Bluth sort of evolved into like the Miyazaki model? Because like Miyazaki be the closest thing like modern sort of very adult storytelling for children animation.
I think he
right?
started that way, actually. I think he evolved more into the Disney model as he realized Disney was making headway, because he made Anastasia later on.
Oh, that's right.
So I think when
But I mean, I'm saying like, is that sort of like the evolutionary path
actually,
to Miyazaki though?
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. I think he is very comparable to Miyazaki, these kind of very dark, challenging, maybe not as surreal, but you're watching these movies and you're like, I don't think this is a movie for kids. Like, even though there's I'm staring at a cute mouse right now, but this is not for children. The Secret of Nim is about a woman trying to get her kids to a safe place before her home is destroyed, and she can't move one of her kids, so she has to go and do this very dangerous thing, and it's terrifying.
And the animal experimentation, like that was
yes.
Yeah. Like, that was another thing in the 80s that like we were taught, like You know, like if you buy makeup, it's probably been used on rabbits, you know? Like
Yeah,
that was the thing. There was like a guilt that I had when I was like 13 or something. It's like I was really worried that my mascara had like hurt
we started a
animals.
petition at school. Like a few of
Yeah.
my friends of mine, when we found this out, it was like big news, and we actually started. Didn't get any signatures though. Like everyone just looked at us and went, "Oh Jesus Christ!" It's like don't hurt the rabbits. It's yeah, but I think so. Yeah, there was this kind of really kind of anthropomorphic kind of things aren't anything new in like when you're dealing with kids, but our ones kind of was so dark that it was putting animals in peril. So that yeah, for something when you learned about experimentation, I mean, I can't imagine being a kid and watching was I've never seen it, Plague Dogs, but even when you're watching Watership Down, with Plague Dogs is about these two escaped dogs from a laboratory, and it's I've seen pictures of it. It looks absolutely like I would be in the fetal position in like 2 seconds. But Watership Down, which is about rabbits having to leave their home because there was this new poison out that they were using. I can't remember the exact name, but it was this really, it would kill rabbits by the friggin'. And so they turned it into a Holocaust movie. And it's, yeah, as you said, rabbits selling out rabbits to humans. And it's like, oh my God. Like, I mean, I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. I mean, we do have really still good kids' movies. I mean, but they tend to go for the emotional core and finding it about yourself, where the kids' movies in the 80s were all about teaching you to how to fear everything. Like, things are bad. Like, things are going to be bad.
Also, the constant orphaning, you know, like constant, you know, like we grew up with like Annie and all these things, you know, like all these ideas that like if I did the wrong thing, I was gonna end up in an orphanage. I was always terrified of that, you
Yeah.
know. That
Carol
was an
Burnett was only going to be
irrational
my
fear.
mother, and it was not going to be a good time at all. Drunk in the bathtub. But you're right. Everything was everyone was an orphan. I mean, it definitely still is the kind of the hero's journey, which I think actually no, Dogs Go to Heaven doesn't have that. Like, because that is just
You know, it doesn't because I feel like his redemption isn't earned.
no.
I feel like his redemption is just kind of like tacked on.
At the end, I mean, he says because Dom DeLuise plays a sausage dog called Itchy McItchison or something, and he suddenly gets all jealous of Anne Marie because they spend a lot of time together, and he's kind of that he's got the weird parental thing going on. But then he says, "Oh no, I'm going to dump her in an orphanage after this. Like she never mattered to me. She has it. She runs off. He has to go save her." But yeah, his redemption at the end is very, very just tacked on. It's like you've been watching this guy be a cheerful and charming, because it is Burt Reynolds being a dog, kind of con man. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, he's meant to go back to heaven. So we need him to get there. It feels very last minute of, yeah. It's,
Yeah, the weird, and like also, it's so cruel that they abduct this little girl who has been kidnapped by Carface.
Yeah.
So like this little girl is in a cage, like she's been kidnapped. Her life is shit. She's you know, a big sad-eyed little girl, and so that what do? They re-kidnap her
to do
and
the
use
exact
her
same thing.
to do
It's
the
just
exact same thing.
because
They're horrible people.
They're the saddest line when she's talking to Carface, and she's like, "Can I go outside today? I haven't been outside for a long time." He goes, "Yes, yes, okay." Talk to the mouse, find out who's going to win such and such. She does, and then he leaves her. And she goes, "Wait, we were going to go outside," and those big blue eyes and that little voice, like, and I'm just like, "No, what?" And then yeah, Charlie's like, "Yeah." We'll take her outside, but we'll take her to the races. Like, I'll give her a doll, but we're doing the exact same thing that Carface was doing. I'm just a little nicer about it. I'm like, yeah, but you're still exploiting this kid. Like, you have no intention of gonna find her if you have no idea how to find this girl a family. So what are we doing here? Like,
I'm gonna then like another evil animal's gonna like steal her and like go to Epstein Island or something, you know.
exactly. It's got that kind of weird feel about it of like, okay, this kid is here, she's alone, she's just there to be exploited, and oh wait, this is meant to be a family movie, which I think the Miyazaki actually should have done Princess Mononoke, even though that movie is so much more. But anyway, remember watching that for the first time going, wait, what the hell is this? Yeah, I was way too young to see that movie. I don't think I even understood it. Like, I was just images of like, what? But yeah, it's kind of this weird. Maybe it's because I'm used to having kids' movies have that morality tale when I don't think in this era you were seeing a lot. You're seeing a little bit of it, but not all of it. Like, I don't think Don Bluth was there to moralize to kids like, say, Disney was. Like, oh, if you behave and do the right thing, you will get your wish. This is just like, yeah, shit happens. You may find your parents if you go to America, but a lot of people didn't. So you just have to kind of, again, be exploited by these people who put you in a sweatshop, which happens in the American Tale. Like, he ends up in a sweatshop. I'm like, oh no.
I know, kids are just exploited left and right in these movies.
They really are. If not, they're going to die in a swirl of mud when the harvest comes. It's like, bloody hell. The secret
you know, maybe we need to rework An American Tale as an updated story celebrating immigrants today.
I think you should, because one thing surprised me was how Jewish it was. Like, it wasn't just normal. It wasn't like the typical thing of immigrant you see in a lot of movies. It was a very specific, this is these mice coming in from the Ukraine area, coming over, all that kind of area, and coming into America, and these Jewish communities that were built in New York. And you get these Tammany Hall like references. And I'm just sitting there going, this movie's like 80 minutes. And it's like, holy shit.
And it was a hit song, Somewhere Out There.
Oh my God, I love that song.
Oh my God, yes,
so much.
That song.
This movie does not have that. Again, I can see kind of the fall of Don Bluth, where the songs are very bad, and then you have Albert Ashman and Alan Menken coming in with Little Mermaid, which a movie I don't love, by the way. I think you can tell that they don't have the money for decent animation, so it's very, again, ugly and half sketched. But then you have those songs, and I'm like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that's where the money went.
That's where the money went. They went and put it in the songs, and they knew it. They knew that wasn't always Bluth's strong point. And because Bluth was, his movies were the ones that made money in the 80s. That was, I looked it up. Most of them made money. I'm like, oh, Steven Spielberg produced half of them. I'm like, bloody hell.
Yeah, and I mean, think about how many sequels to Land Before Time.
Oh, like, there's like 11.
TV. Yeah, there's so many sequels to that movie. I remember they had a Pizza Hut tie-in. I remember getting a stuffed dinosaur at Pizza Hut. I remember that. Yeah.
One of those. I didn't get one. I was so mad. I really wanted a ducky.
Yeah. But yeah, and of course, Little Mermaid was like the big launching point of that golden age of Disney, that second golden age of Disney. Yeah.
Which is so much more sweet, which is so much more kind of good things happen to good people kind of thing. This is, bad things happen to bad people. Here's a very clear villain. Here's a very, and I guess there was a clear villain between Charlie and Carface, but it's not much. They were partners. They worked together.
Yeah.
That's a weird movie. Like, I really enjoyed it. Like, I was kind of giggling and really getting into it, but it's a weird, ugly movie with this very sweet heart who gets trampled on, and then, oh, by the way, she does find parents. So it's like, okay, good. So at least good that she has a good ending.
Yeah. But once again, it's that very, very easy thing. Like, oh, I could just see this couple and immediately, like, I'm gonna make them like me, and I'm gonna charm these adults, and they'll be my parents.
She is so sweet though. Like when she first meets her new mum at the races, and her mum's like, so what's going on? She's like, yep, I'm going to go and get a new dress, and I'm going to find some. And then before she says fine, she's getting all these things. It sounds exactly like how a 5-year-old would talk to an adult. Like, I'm going to get this, I'm going to do this, it's going to be great. And then I'm going to get, I've got to go with the dogs. Like, it's just, but it's all very easy. It's kind of like they got distracted by what the stuff that's happening in the movie, not what the movie is about, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when they introduce like the sexy lady dog with all the little puppies. They introduce, like, was she his mistress or something? Like, what was?
Yeah, that was two apparently together. Also played by Lonnie Anderson. So
oh,
Lonnie Anderson.
This really is—it's the Cannonball Run of dog movies.
Should have chose Cannonball Run.
If only Jackie Chan showed up,
Oh, if only. I mean. It's kind of, you forget how much power Bert had back in the 80s. Like, he could just go, my wife is in this and my best friend is in this, and they'll go, okay. But yeah, he's got a mistress who runs an orphanage, and those puppies are cute, but don't really serve. No, it feels like just a really weird 80s trope for that scumbag that you're meant to like in the 80s. So they always have a really good girlfriend who does good things, even though they are a bad person. It's like a very 80s, feels like an 80s trope.
It's very gangster mall kind
Yes,
of.
it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Gangsta Mall
kind
with a heart of
trope.
gold. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say I did love like all the distinctly New Orleans kind of
Yeah.
set design of it. Like I thought I loved the painted backgrounds, and I loved all the the very, very specific sort of architecture. It really, really did give you a New Orleans feel. I thought they did a good job on that.
No, it's actually like very Miyazaki as well. Like if you were all his backgrounds tended to be very specific to the thing that he was making. So in this, yeah, it's in New Orleans, so you get hints of carnival, and you get sort of the sense of like the very Cajun alligator like doing stuff. So it's kind of got those hints, even though you go into a room and you completely forget when you go outside. It's again, American Tail is very New York at a specific time with these Jewish immigrants coming in, and then even Secret of Nim is like very specific to this very industrialized countryside where they experiment on animals and farm like every 6 months and do all that thing. And yeah, no, he was kind of incredible, but at the same time, he would just make these choices where you're like, that was a choice that you made to put in your movie that is now going to scar everyone who sees it. Like Fireball kind of slipping down the boat on a par of soap. I'm like, no. Yeah, this is a weird movie. Anything else you want to say about All Dogs Go to Heaven before we get into the main course?
No, I'm just so glad the girl didn't die.
Yeah.
I'm so glad my memory is wrong.
I know, me too. I was just like, oh, she's alive and she's going to be happy, and that it was all the dog. Like that is so freaking weird. You ready to jump into maybe the ultimate kinder trauma movie ever made?
Yes, let's do it.
Right, the curtains are back opening. What is going to be your trailer for Return to Oz?
My trailer is going to be another upsetting fantasy story, The Never-Ending Story.
Atex!
What magical spell does it cast on all who read it? What is the secret of the never-ending story?
But that's impossible!
You will enter a world where a young boy's imagination becomes a vivid reality. The world of Atreyu and Artax, the Rockbiter, and a good and kind gnome. A world that is vast and eternal, treacherous and dazzling, unforgettable and free. Yeah! For anyone who's ever made a wish, believed in a fantasy, or had a dream, this is the never-ending story.
I just watched that. That scene is horrific. I don't know why. It's probably in the book. Like, yeah, I think children's books at a certain time were just as much to blame for the movies that we got out of them, but that was unnecessary.
But it's stuck with you. It's Generation X, like we all still remember that,
No, my partner was listening to a Lonely Island album, and it had an ATAX thing in there, just like Andy Samberg just yelling ATAX. I just like, yeah, I know how old he is. Like, if you just go Never-Ending Story and they say ATAX back to you, you know that you watched this on a Saturday night. Going, oh my god. It's a really gorgeously shot movie though. Like, I know it's Wolfgang Peterson. It's gorgeous to look at.
Yeah, it still holds up. It's like all those fantasy that, like, we had Legend and we had Willow and we had Labyrinth, and we'll get into more of that, but like that's like we had a wealth of like well shot, beautiful looking fantasy movies in the early 80s.
I mean that Turtle Mountain which is gorgeous. And like the fact that he is just so over everything, he's so nihilistic. And to have that kind of attitude again in the 1980s, like I was sort of watching it going, wait, is this the anti-Reagan kids movie? Because it's kind of like both this and sorry, I'm pulling from strings that may not make sense, but both this and Return to Oz are about kids who are being punished for having imagination, that they kind of want to live in this fantasy world that they love and they want to express it, but they can't because it's the 1980s and you need to go off and make a business and make money and have your feet on the ground, as the Davy Coleman lookalike dad says to Paul Bastia. But I was like, yeah, this was going to be made. And it's like, no, you can't be the weird dreamy kid. You have to go out and be external and be like the bullies almost. And these movies are like, no, that sucks. Fantasy worlds are great. Well, except for maybe Return to Oz, but we'll get into that.
What was your choice?
My choice is going to be the other amazing one I actually watched so many times I could almost go for the lines, and that's Labyrinth. Jim Henson, I think 1986 or 1987.
George Lucas, creator of the Star Wars saga. And one of the most innovative forces in modern entertainment, David Bowie. Together, they will take you into a dazzling world of fantasy and adventure.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
A world where anything seems possible and nothing is what it seems.
Everything I've done for you. I move the stars for no one. Run so hard, run so far.
The world of Labyrinth.
Yeah, the movie that put me onto David Bowie. So
You know, it's funny. Like, I think a lot about like what era of Bowie and what era of James Bond and what era of certain things that we had, you know, what era of Doctor Who. Like our Bowie isn't the best Bowie. Our era Bowie is like the Thin White Duke Bowie,
yes,
right?
yes,
Like Modern Love and all those songs, you know, Blue Jean, you know, like sure, we didn't get the super cool Ziggy Stardust David Bowie.
We didn't have the I'm eating capsicums and milk and cocaine diet Bowie. Like we got that, yeah.
We didn't have that, and we didn't have like cool elder statesman Bowie. We had this like weird 80s Bowie. The same thing like James Bond. Like we have Roger Moore. We don't get the super cool Sean Connery, and we don't get the Daniel Craig, but we get like this in between 80s.
Yes,
you know. So our Gen X eras of these icons is kind of funny, you know.
It is. And of course, when he's got the balls and it's the really tight thingies and the hair and the makeup, it's a definite sight, but it's a very strange Bowie working out a personality that doesn't quite work completely, even though I don't like some of the music that came out of it. But yeah, you're right. It's not here. Like, it's just not.
And we had Dark Crystal. Dark Crystal was another fantasy movie from the early that looked like that. Terrified me.
I did not watch that movie until I was a teenager because I remember it was always because I'd read say Labyrinth like every couple of months. So that was the trailer that would show before us. I'd always fast forward it because I didn't like to look at it. And even though it said Jim Henson, I'm like, not buying that at all. But there was something because you messaged me and goes, why does Labyrinth look so cool? And
yeah.
Return to Oz looks like you want to burn it a lot of the time.
Yes.
And I think there's something about Jim and Brian Henson was the main puppeteer and the main puppetry guy for that one. That was his first time going on his own. And obviously he didn't quite have that Henson thing of taking something ugly, but making it accessible and kind of adorable, if that makes sense.
The Gonzo principle?
The Gonzo principle. Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. He didn't have the Gonzo principle yet. So Labyrinth has the Gonzo principle all over it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But like Return to Oz is just, it's an ugly looking weird, you know.
This summer, Walt Disney Pictures presents a motion picture fantasy adventure beyond your fondest imagination. You'll be transported miraculously back to the enchanted land of Oz, that magical kingdom beloved by young and old for generations.
It's just a yellow brick.
No, Belina, you don't understand. This was the yellow brick road.
You'll share with Dorothy Gale the shock of finding everything mysteriously changed.
What's happened to everybody?
And you'll delight with her discovery of 4 wonderful new friends who band together against a wicked queen and the dreaded Gnome King. This is the Oz you haven't seen before, and this is the Oz you'll want to visit again and again. From Walt Disney Pictures comes a whole new world of entertainment.
Why don't we just fly back to Kansas?
Return to Oz.
And also that guy who's the main wheeler, he was a puppeteer. He was some sort of big, yeah. So like he also, like he worked, he was the Noid in the Domino's. He did the Domino's commercials. He did that. He did like he apparently had a really big, puppeting career.
He was a public choreographer and he did a whole bunch of stuff. He was in He-Man. I was looking up his credits before because I was like, you look familiar. It's just because when I watched this as a kid, you were such a focal point of my terror that like,
he looks like
Mumby. I'm like, I don't think I even got to Mumby. I saw the Wheelers and went, I am out.
Yeah, I feel like the Wheelers, I looked at them now, I'm like, they look like Oingo Boingo or like some sort of bad new wave band. They look like Flock of Seagulls or something. That terrible like neon eye makeup and the dyed balding hair.
Oh my god, that is amazing. I love it now. Like, I love the fact that they dyed balding hair and went, yes, this is the look we're going for. It's truly wonderful. But at the time I saw that mask and I saw the 4 stilts with the wheels and I just went, no, thank you. I am not going through with any of this. What is this?
Oh, yeah, it's terrifying. Yeah, I did not like them at all.
They're still kind of off-putting when you first see them with the helmet down and it's with the mask. It's generally creepy. Like, it's a genuinely awful thing to sort of look at. And then you kind of see them in their more human form. You're like, okay, I can kind of get on board with this. But yeah, you sort of like when you first see it.
You know what else? It's like, do you remember the Mummenschanz?
No.
The Mummenschanz, they were this weird avant-garde puppeteering group that would show up on the Muppet Show, and they would do that thing where like they'd have the clay faces and like they'd twist their faces around, or they do the they had the toilet roll eyes. They do like that stuff.
Yes.
You remember? And they were, I forget where they were from. I forget they were Swiss or Swedish or so. It was some sort of weird.
Well, that was the beauty of the Muppet Show. They would do that a lot. They'd have these other puppeteers on to show you, and it was generally avant-garde weird stuff. And because you were surrounded by Gonzo and Fonzie and all these other weirdos, you kind of just accepted it and kind of I remember that because they had these. Was it the same guys who did the clay things as well? They were manipulating. Yes, I remember.
Yeah, they had the clay faces and they'd like squish their face around and do
that
stuff.
So much as a kid because it was in the Muppet Show, so it was safe.
Yeah, I was so creeped out. I didn't like it. I didn't want to look at the Mummenschanz. You know?
Oh, I love the Mummenschanz. And then, but the Mummenschanz showed up on Return to Oz. I think I would have had a very different reaction because I didn't have Kermit there in the wings going, everything's going to be okay, and Miss Piggy's going to karate chop someone. Like, I think it's framing's kind of important, but yeah, there was a magic to Henson. Like, even when you look at the Ninja Turtles movies the Henson Company did, this is I think after he passed, it still was that Gonzo, as you said, the Gonzo effect. Like, I accepted what I was seeing, but when you've got Brian Henson coming over to do his first gig solo, he doesn't have that. So you're looking at Jack Pumpkinhead, and the first time you see him, he is really off-putting. There's something uncanny about him. Like, I don't know, even though he's meant to be the scarecrow of the piece, you're just like, I know you're meant to be nice, but I'm not vibing with this at all. It takes you a bit to go, okay, yep.
Also like, what was the name of the sofa creature?
Oh my, Bunk or something. I can't remember. No, do not like. I mean, I did not. Movie, but do not like.
I'm just gonna say there's a reason why we do not have like plush dolls and stuff of these characters. There's a reason why I do not have like a stuffed bunk, you know.
Okay, would have TikTok.
They still make
Yeah.
plush.
I
Yeah,
would
yeah, I
have
would have yes.
TikTok is awesome. By the way, that guy was
TikTok had
upside
that
down.
weird yeah,
He was
he
upside
had
down
that
in the
weird
thing.
World War One look.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Explain how
Okay.
he was inside that
But yeah, I had to look up
robot.
photos because I read it. So basically, because TikTok is this round cylindrical thing with these big legs, chunky legs, but very Lego-esque arms. They're really thin, so you couldn't fit like an arm through. So what the performer had to do was stand on his hands in TikTok and move the feet. So that's why he has that adorable waddle. It's because he was upside down.
How long could you stay inside that?
Don't think it was that. I think they had to do very short things. You could not do that to a person for that long. Like,
no,
that is, oh my God. It's like every time I found out there was a person in R2-D2, I'd be like, that's slightly horrifying. How often was he in that can? Like, can you bring him in? But yeah, it's insane. The effect is amazing though. I like this little waddle. Like, but yeah, it does feel like Brian Henson trying out some things and them not being completely functional. Yeah.
Yeah. Although, if I may veer off for a moment about some modern puppeteering.
Yes.
I love the Paddington in the musical.
Did not think
Have
this
you
was going to
seen
happen.
this?
Yeah, I love it so much.
Oh my God. Yeah, the animatronics and the way like he just looks the way he sings, he's so beautiful.
His mouth looks like, I don't think it is, but it looks like it's actually moving along to the words. It's kind of incredible.
Well, they have someone off stage who's doing the
Yeah.
animatronics of his mouth, so I don't know how they do that, but like he's amazing.
Yeah, I remember I saw this happens with Paddington all the time because I remember seeing a still from the first photo and going, I don't like that, kill it, burn it. I saw Paddington 2 and went, okay, he's my best friend now. Saw a still of the Paddington on stage, went, no, don't like it. Then at Christmas, my dad was watching, as he does every year, the royal show from Britain. And they had like one of the numbers from Paddington. And Paddington came on stage. I went, oh my God, this thing is incredible.
Yeah. Have you seen the Vanity Fair interview of like what's in your bag or whatever?
No.
Where like he shows like he talks about his sense of style.
Yeah.
And, oh, it's adorable.
Paddington is so great. Yeah, I love puppetry. I think it is kind of one of the magic things that people can do, and the fact that the new Muppet Show is actually getting good reviews and it's going back to the old 1970s format makes me yeah. First guest is Sabrina Carpenter, and I saw her just talking with Miss Peggy. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Like, I don't know how.
Well, I mean, like, I like almost everything Muppets. I enjoyed that. What was that like 30 Rock style show, The Muppets?
Yes,
You
yeah,
know, that
I did
one.
as well.
I thought
Yeah.
that was cool. I enjoyed that. I liked that Dr. Teeth show.
Oh, I never saw that one. I love Dr. T.
Yeah, there was a whole mini series about Dr. Teeth and the band that was on Disney Plus, and that was enjoyable, you know. So, yeah, of course, I'll totally give this a try. I'll totally watch this.
Yeah, I was a Muppet obsessed kid. Like, I do remember getting up early on a weekend to watch it. I just probably watched Sesame Street way longer than I should have because purely of the Muppets on that show. And sometimes they'd have a crossover, like Kermit would come on and things like that. But
yeah,
I loved it. So every single time I'd watch something with puppetry, if I saw Jim Henson's name on it, I would be, okay, this is great. I'm totally in on it. I'm going to love it, like with Labyrinth. Except for Dark Crystal, because Dark Crystal, those Skeeches things were terrifying. But
the Skeksis. Yeah, the Skeksis.
Oh my God. That was nightmare fuel. But watching, because I remember, I think it was a birthday party, and I don't think I got past the Wheelers. Like, I didn't even get to Princess Mumby with their freaking heads. Like,
oh, you know, I am so glad I had wiped that out of my mind. I'm so glad. Once again, I think Return to Oz is a movie that I saw like once, and I was one and done. You know.
No, this is a movie that got under my skin. I think I saw half of it. Then a few years later, I went back and watched the whole thing. And then every few years, I've just gone, was that movie as nightmarish as it? No, it absolutely, even watching it this time, I'm like, no, there's just some images that just make me, ugh, and they're not meant to do that. It's not actually, I don't think you're meant to look at Jack Pumpkinhead and go, all right. I mean, to look at him and go, oh, nice pumpkin-headed man. I think Tim Burton got him right when he made him to Jack the Pumpkin King. But this I just remember sitting there watching it and getting really freaked out when looking at Auntie M. And I don't know if it's because I kind of subconsciously knew it was Piper Laurie, and Piper Laurie is not generally a nice mum. So
no,
I don't know if I had that in the back of my head. Yes.
Yeah, between Carrie and Twin Peaks, if I see Piper Laurie, I do not trust her, you know.
And she's meant to be playing aunt, because this whole thing is Dorothy played for Farasa Bulk, who is like a 10-year-old in this. So she is a little kid. This is not like Judy Garland being a teenager playing young. But you feel everything, she's okay because she's old enough to handle it. This is a tiny little girl with, the biggest blue eyes you've ever seen. And she keeps talking about this place called Oz after the tornado. So Auntie M, meant to be the kindest woman on the planet, sends her to a sanitarium where they're going to perform electric shock therapy on her. And you're just watching this thing going, even as a kid, something ain't right. This is not how a movie like this is meant to open. What is going on?
Yeah. And I wanted to bring up how similar it is to Sucker Punch.
Yes.
Because like also in Sucker Punch, like these girls go through this electroshock therapy, and it's about very, very much like where they relate the evil doctor and the evil nurse, and they show up in their fantasy life. Like when the doctor is explaining the electroshock machine, oh, it's just like a friendly robot. It's just like your Tin Man, you know? And just like all the sound design and stuff when she's in Oz, like the wheelers remind you of like them wheeling in the machine. And the nurse character shows up, and it's like they use the same nightmare people from the hospital, represented in Oz, and it is like very, very, Sucker Punch does that as well.
Yeah, Walter Murch, who directed this, was a very good sound guy and editor. Like, he worked with Coppola, he did all the sound effects. I think for The Godfather, he also did a lot on like American Graffiti and
The Conversation, a movie all about sound.
Exactly. Yeah, he is one of the reasons why The Conversation is so good as Walter Murch. So I think what happened was that Disney wanted George Lucas to direct a Oz sequel, and apparently all this is set for the electric shock therapies in the books. So the Wheelers are from the books, Princess Mombi's from the books. So you're just like going, oh God, Frankenbaum, what were you doing? And not to say flying monkeys aren't scary. It's just I've seen them so many times and seen them parodied so many times that I think I've kind of sanded down the edges of what a flying monkey is. And just because Wizard of Oz was everywhere when I was a kid. So again, going with this movie, they made a sequel to Wizard of Oz. Oh no. It's this kind of thing where they wanted him to direct it. He didn't want to do that. He was more busy producing. So I think he said, give it to my friend Walter Murch. And I think Disney went, because Disney wasn't doing great in the 80s. Remember a time when Disney was just like flopping and making weird movies like
Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Something Wicked This Way Comes, which, by the way, where's my 4K? Seriously, you've got Return to Oz on Disney Plus, but no Something Wicked This Way Comes. Like, seriously, guys, what's going on? You have The Black Hole. There's that one with Betty Davis playing a witch in the woods or something. I haven't seen that one in years.
The Watcher in the Woods?
The Watcher in the Woods. Yeah, you got Black Cauldron, which I was considering for a trailer, which is this amazing animated movie based on a whole series of books now I have to read, Wendi told me. And that movie is really terrifying. Like, it kind of goes in some really dark places. And they were kind of not sure how to do it. And then they sort of reinvented themselves with Who Invented Roger Rabbit and The Little Mermaid. And then the rest is overlords now, and they own us and they tell us what to do and all this kind of thing. But it's kind of weird to think that, after Walt Disney, the man, died, it took them like 20 or 30 years to properly rebuild and figure out what they were going to do next. It's kind of fascinating.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, when you think about the live action films, like in the 60s, they had all the computer wore tennis shoes, and then, the Apple Dumpling Gang, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the cat alien one.
Super wholesome.
Dang that cat, whatever it was, yeah.
That dang cat, that darn cat.
Yeah, John Cat.
They had all those, the wholesome Kurt Russell kind of movies, but then it's like the 80s, they went this bizarre sort of dark direction, and then in the 90s they just picked up, and yeah, it's strange, very strange.
It's like Star Wars came out and kind of broke everyone's brain because that movie had these kind of dark elements. I mean, I do remember being scared of how Darth Vader breathed because I was like 3 or 4 years old, and I think I just didn't. It was a scary sound to me. Then you watch it and you go, "Oh wait, this thing rules!" Like there's a darkness to it. It's a little bit more intense, but it's not too intense. Like it doesn't. There's a pressure point that it knows it doesn't press hard enough on, so it's got all these other elements where, oh, okay, yes, Luke's Uncle Auntie died, but now he's also going to go over the rainbow and have this amazing adventure and go on spaceships and all that kind of thing. I think Disney was just like, oh yeah, so the kids like dark stuff now, and it's like, yeah, but not. And I'm someone who grew up to love horror, which probably because of these movies, but yeah. And as I said, I love Return to Oz. I think it's so weirdly imaginative, and it's got all these things going on in it. Some of the rock effects when you got the face on the rock is incredible.
So weird. Also, it's so interesting to me, like the people didn't just turn into like rock statues of themselves, they turned into rocks.
Yes.
Like that's although they did have some of the people who were like the statues, like those headless women, those headless dancing women and stuff. Yeah.
Watching it as a kid, wait, are the heads going to come back? Or are these going to be some headless bodies that are just going to fall down? But it's like she took their heads. Mommy took their heads off.
That was really, there was another scene that I found really upsetting where Mombi like grabs her by the arm, and like it looks like she's really digging into her arm, like she's dragging Dorothy.
But not Belinda, Belina, the chicken, and she's holding her by, because sometimes they have a puppet chicken and sometimes they have an actual chicken. So she's holding the actual chicken by the legs, and the thing's flying. I found it really upsetting because I'm like, I don't think you're meant to be holding a chicken that way. I don't think they like it.
Once again, we never got any Belina stuffed animals.
No.
There's no marketing, no merchandising for this movie.
Disney just did not have the budget for any marketing.
Toys.
Yeah,
no.
Because this does look like an expensive movie. I didn't see what it was made for, but it actually, because the effects in it are actually really impressive of what they're doing. They're just hideous to look at. Like, this is not a pretty movie at all. It doesn't have like the big eyes you meant to have so you feel safe. It doesn't have like the symmetry. Everything's kind of odd and angled, and
everything's so gray. Everything is so like, you've got the poison desert or whatever. Yeah. And even when you're like seeing, even when the Emerald City comes back and stuff, like it's still like, you know, like it's just a weird overcast movie. It's a very depressing looking movie.
It is. And because even though like Neverending Story and Labyrinth both have that quality of being overcast, because they're about these kids who are going up against these sort of odds. But what I did actually like about Neverending Story, how it was just literally about a story about confidence. It was about this kid just getting some confidence. He's reading this book that's going to give him that. He can like finally say his mother's name and all this kind of thing, which I was like, oh, that's sweet. But yeah, it's about these kids getting up these insurmountable odds and getting over them. And there is an ugliness to the way the fantasy element works. But again, Gonzo effect. You're like, actually, no, I never had a plush Gonzo. I had a Kermit and I had an animal, but I never had a Gonzo.
Once again, Gonzo loves chickens.
He does.
He would have loved Melina.
Oh my god, he would have been all over Belina. It would have been actually then we would have needed a restraining order.
And also it was so funny how you didn't know how Belina was more important than Dorothy.
Yeah, like I gotta why is everyone upset about the chicken? Like,
right, nobody gives a shit about Dorothy. Like, Dorothy's here, whatever. Fuck, there's a chicken.
Yeah. It's like, what is happening? And Belina's not the kind of like chicken to go, well, I must be important. No, she's like, these assholes. She's got the quip for everything, but but then you find out, oh wait, it's because the Gnome King is allergic to eggs, and it's like, wait, what?
Also, do you feel like Toto kind of got the shaft?
He did. They chose Belina over Toto, and I'm like, poor Toto. Toto's a good boy. Like
Toto's loyal, you know. I'm sure he wanted to go back to Oz.
Oh, I just did not believe Dorothy would leave him even for a second. Like in the Wizard of Oz, it's kind of a central plot line is that she goes that Toto escapes from Margaret Hamilton's bike as that amazing music's playing, and he runs back home. Dorothy's going to run away with Toto, so Margaret Hamilton cannot put Toto down. Like that is like, it's like a major plot point. Yeah. The reason why she goes to Oz is because of Toto. So the fact that she would go stay home, Toto, as her Auntie Em is taking her to an insane asylum, I go by. She would take Toto she would hide Toto at the insane asylum. Like, come on, this is what this girl does.
One flew over Toto's nest.
Oh my God. Like, just every single time I watch it, I'm still in disbelief of, wait, are they going to electric shock this little girl? Like, I know it's mental health history is so dark and what they've done to people. And I know electric shock therapy is still used, but they actually put people under now. Like, and it's for very extreme cases. Like, it's not something they did willy-nilly, but like they did back in the day. So,
I mean, I feel like now they probably do more ketamine therapy and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I know Carrie Fisher did talk about having electric shock therapy and how it helped her, because she was definitely had massive mental health issues. But she goes, but they knocked me out first. It wasn't like I was like in 1933 lying on a table with a bit of wood between my teeth like they used to. It's like, they should actually put you out for that, because that is. And the fact that he's going, as you said before, look, here's a little face, there's his eyes, it's like the Tin Man. And you're just like, this doctor, I know it's Nicole Williams, but this doctor is evil. This doctor must go. This is not good.
And it's true. I feel like there were a lot of like, I mean, obviously we grew up like, it wasn't like housewives are going to get electroshock therapy when we were growing up or anything, but like there lingered, like you could see that in it was brought up in TV and movies and stuff all the time, like it was.
I almost chose Francis Farmer as a trailer for this. So I thought, no, that's too dark.
Oh yeah,
which I recently watched. Most of it. I got to go back and finish it because I was watching the Mel Brooks movie, and he says, "Yeah, I produced that." I'm like, you did the Francis Farmer, interesting. And Jessica Lange
Mel Brooks had good taste, the
really good taste. The Fly, like he had really good taste. And so I was watching it, I'm like, this is actually really dark drama. This is not a like soft edge drama about a woman who goes insane. This is about people turning her insane, and therefore she gets worse and worse and worse and has to have electric shock therapy. And it's I haven't got to that part yet, but I think it's going to be devastating. It's like,
well, there's that Nirvana song, Frances Farmer will have her revenge on Seattle.
Exactly. So I was like, I can't go, that's just too dark, because I know people have said that a Return to Oz is like a death dream. Like this is Dorothy dying or something and then going into this very macabre, bizarre, strange, nightmarish world. I guess with the original Wizard of Oz, I think it's because it's couched because you do have an older Dorothy and she sings one of the greatest songs ever written. And then everything's kind of couched in, it will be okay, even if there are flying monkeys and the Screen Witch is out to get you. You've got these recognizable people around you who are going to protect you. And then when you look at the Scarecrow in this movie, his face doesn't move, so therefore he is now terrifying. And I want to throw rocks at him.
Wicked could have learned a lot from this movie.
It really could have, actually. Like they had every other friggin' reference to every other piece of Wizard of Oz kind of media. I'm like, so where's Return? We're gonna have like a weird pumpkin guy coming in, and no pumpkin guy. Okay, I think you need to. Yeah, if you're gonna be doing everything else, you might as well have some rock people thrown in there or something.
Yeah, and also I've never read the books. Like I've never read Ozma of Oz. So
no, neither have I. Yeah.
So it was so funny. It was like, oh, you got this little blonde girl at the beginning, and then she shows up at the end.
I was like, well, she's gonna show up again. No, it was an older so who's this blonde girl? Well, she's obviously gonna show up. And I'm like, oh yeah, she's Ozma. So yeah, it's kind of weird how these movies would just throw plot points in at the end to make everything make sense, but they didn't establish them enough. Like, and all those go to heaven. It's like, well, you're not establishing how Charlie's going to have his redemption because he's so happy doing crime. And then also in Return to Oz, you've got this kind of reflection in a mirror, but you don't know who Ozma is. So it's kind of like, well, who was she to Oz? And it's like this, oh, wait, she was the princess before the wizard came. It's like, wait, so you might need to fill in a few gaps here with that one.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're a little kid and all you know is Wizard of Oz, Yeah.
which that was me. I was like, yeah, I still
Mm-hmm.
remember being really excited to sit down at a birthday party and watch Wizard of Oz because I love Wizard of Oz. It's still one of my favorite movies. And then to see that sort of this dreary brown Kansas that's so depressing, and then to get to Oz, which is equally depressing, I'm like, wait, what? No, we're meant to be happy at Oz. If something's going wrong with Oz, I need something to go, okay, I don't like need to see the Tin Man and the lion dead and made of stone. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, instead of like witches in like a bubble, like giant pink bubbles, instead of any Glinda stuff, like
Yeah.
instead you get like the fucking headless monstrosity hall of death.
Look, I love that now. As a kid, I know. It was probably
She had a
my
cool.
answer.
I really did like. I liked like her weird feather dress thing.
Oh man, how it clacked and like the noise it made. It's
Yeah.
very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love it now. I love the fact that you kind of have this wall thing coming out and it's kind of the king, the gnome king, and then all of a sudden you just have Nicole Williams sitting in the chair in makeup, and I'm like, that's awesome. That's not right, but I love it. And then when he gets angry, he turns back into the mountain again.
And the makeup was nightmarish
Oh
on
my
everybody
God.
in this movie too. Terrible makeup.
Yeah, the Wheelers. I mean, we talked about how they're kind of like this new wave band from the '80s, but but the new wave makeup did clash, and so they do the clash thing with the Wheelers, and it does look wrong. Like,
yeah,
Gene Marsh's makeup is like, what the no? It's everything about this is like, we're gonna make this really cool fantasy world, but it's just not pleasant to look at.
Yeah, hideous.
I should love Jack Pumpkinhead. I don't. I should love the friggin' moose bunk guy, but no.
Also, yeah, it's like suddenly this moose thing, and there's like a name for the moose thing, but like
he's a really
like, we've
weird
never
shade of
heard
green.
it.
Yeah, and he's a really weird
Right.
shade of green. Like it's almost mold green, not emerald green.
Ugh, unpleasant. Yeah, everything. It just, ugh, the whole color palette of this movie is very unpleasant.
And yeah, I think it's unpleasant as kind of works for it. Like it's a movie I do actually enjoy watching, but sometimes it'll just catch me when I see something for the first time and I will recoil. Like I still recoil back. It's like, say with weapons, and I first saw Aunt Gladys for the first time, I kind of leaned in and went, "Ooh, who is this like brightly redheaded creature? She's going to be up to no good." And yes, she is. She is definitely up to no good. But in this, I'm kind of like, "Oh God." When you first see like Jack for the first time, it's really off-putting, and he's so big compared to Filza Bulk, who is really good in the movie. She's so sweet and so blue eyes.
Yeah. But it's funny, like, like best knowing her from The Craft.
I know. My partner walked in and went, "Is that Feruza Bulk?" I went, "Yes." She's like, "She is a child." I went, "So you're not reacting to the giant pumpkin that's next to her. You're looking at her going, hey, it's the girl from The Craft." Thought you would have gone for the pumpkin first, but no, it's Feruza Bulk.
Well, I mean, she's the only recognizable thing in the movie,
she
like
really
there's
is.
no other touch points in this movie,
No, there isn't. I mean, there's kind of some weird off puppetry, which is very impressive, but doesn't have that gonzo effect yet. Brian Henson will go on to direct the masterpiece of, Muppet Christmas Carol. It's kind of a lot of money thrown at it, and it's by a guy who knows what he's doing and how to make these effects, but he doesn't know how to couch it in anything yet. Because as you said, he's done The Conversation and he's done Apocalypse Now. These are not movies couched in anything. They are just throwing you at images and making you go, well, I can accept this, or I'm going to be sad in a room like Gene Hackman with a saxophone, because that's all that I have left. It's got all these things that are really impressive, but they're just done slightly wrong, and you're just looking at this thing going, oh no, no. Like the enjoyment the Gnome King gets when they're going in to guess the figurines, but then they'll turn himself into figurine. His enjoyment at every single time that happens is, oh boy. Oh, there's another one. It's, What was your kind of reaction to it when you were sort of watching it and you're seeing these images? Was it bringing back to something when you were a kid watching it, or was it just like there's something new and you're like, oh my God, what is this?
Well, I mean, I like I just remembered it as this overall sense of dread. I remember it'd be on TV, it would be on HBO or be on cable or be on something. You'd see it on TV when you're little, and I just remember like feeling I had to change the channel like all the time. I remember I did not want to watch it. It was just I wanted to hide if it came on, you know. And I've watched it all the way through now, and I still feel that way.
I will watch this movie every couple of years. I don't know. It's kind of like that thing that scared you. Like you have a tattoo of not fiber. That's the mouse.
Fiber.
You have it. So, and that movie is truly hideous to look at. There is something just brown, and when the rabbits are really upset or getting poisoned, and these eyes turn red and kind of roll back into the back of their head. There's something. But that kind of got under your skin, and you're like, no, this is something I'm going to carry with me because I love it. I'm more this with Return to Oz.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember.
And then the other thing about Watership Down is how it would switch the animation when it would tell you the story of the Black Rabbit.
Yes.
You know, so like they would tell you like these other stories of the like the fables the rabbits would tell each other, and then that would be like that very sort of like you know, like weird cave drawing kind of style of animation, you know, and so yeah, I mean, I know, but then they later on in the 80s or whatever, they made a Watership Down TV show where they like wear sweaters and sing.
Yeah, I do remember this actually. Now you mention it, I think, yeah.
That's an abomination. That's
not right. I mean, I know they made the TV show like, I mean, I remember I'm finding on YouTube a little bit of the show. Alice, that Martin Scorsese movie.
Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore.
Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, and they made a sitcom out of it afterward.
Yes,
and that is about a really pained story about this woman who's trying to find, like, trying to be a parent identity, trying to be in a relationship that doesn't suck. And Chris Christopherson is the kind of an asshole, and it's kind of
it's turned into Kiss My Grits.
Exactly, it turned into Kiss My Grits. I was just watching it going, this is not the movie. It's like turning that cartoon is literally like taking Travis Bickle out of Taxi Driver and making it into
Taxi.
Yeah, the show. Like that's kind of what it is, and it's
the same thing. What's Happening in Cooley High?
Oh, are they making a show Cooley High?
Well, there was a show. So in the 80s, there was a TV show called What's Happening. And it was like this wacky kind of fun, you know, like these African-American kids, you know, having like insulting each other and having hijinks or whatever, you know, and there was Rerun. It was like the big jolly fat guy and it'd hang out at the diner and stuff. And there was like the famous episode with the Doobie Brothers where like they bootleg a Doobie Brothers concert. But at the end of every episode, it was like based on the movie Cooley High. And then I finally saw Cooley High.
That's not Cooley High.
Exactly.
Cooley High, really good movie, but that's not what that is.
No. Super weird. I mean, MASH, I guess, is the great, but MASH was really dark too. So MASH kind of held on to.
MASH held on to that darkness because I remember watching the movie for the first time. I need to watch it again because I remember going, okay, I'm weirded out by this. This isn't exactly just because I've watched MASH religiously as a kid, like I grew up with it.
Yeah.
So to see
everybody's grandparents, your grandparents made you watch MASH all the time. Yeah.
It was like there was a time when they'd have a MASH rerun and then a Simpsons rerun. So you'd just be watching, even when I was well older. So watching the movie for the first time, it kind of felt weird because it was much more, even though MASH, the show, had some really dark moments and kind of owned what was sort of happening, the movie feels much more nihilistic about the whole thing. Like these guys are just so turned off by it that they have to become ambivalent to what they are doing. Where there's a MASH, they've still got a whole bunch of humanity and they try to deal with it on a daily basis. So I think I need to go back and watch the movie again. But yeah, it's so weird. And the fact that when I found out what the song was called at the beginning of MASH, like
right, Suicide is Painless. Yeah,
Suicide
but the thing about MASH,
wait, what?
Yeah, the thing about the movie that's so weird to me too, when I finally saw it after watching the show for years and years, it's like the movie just feels like some disjointed stories kind of stuck together.
Yes, it really does. I think that's what got me as well, which is it's an Altman movie. That's what Altman did.
Yeah.
And Mesh was a completely different beast. Like, it's weird how they do that. But no, I remember the Alice Doesn't Live Anymore really kind of got me because I'm like, what is this? Kiss My Grits and yucking it up in a diner. I'm like, that is not okay.
No.
It was a gritty
And it
1970s
had
character portrait.
It had the one actress that had Vera. It still
Yeah,
had
Vera.
her. She was the same. She was the same in the movie, the TV show. It's like that's so weird. That's the character you're paying. She's the actress that you got for the, you know.
It's like weird. But yeah, it's sort of just how sort of Return of the Oz is the opposite. It's kind of taking something that is kind of gentle, kind of. I mean, I watched it so many times, I think I've just sanded up all the edges around it. But it made it darker, and that's just as weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if Walter Murch was just doing the books and kind of took the tone, because I haven't read the books, so I don't know if that's the tone of the books, and if so, Frank M. Baum was a lunatic.
I read some comics. Artist named Scotty Young had done a series of faithfully adapted comics of the series, you know, and I had read some of them, and I mean, they were beautiful, they were gorgeous, and the colors were beautiful. So like every comic adaptation I've seen of it, you know, wasn't creepy and horrible like Return to Oz. I don't know.
Even the lion looks weird when he's back. I'm like, that head is too big. What is going on? The Tin Man's eyes are square. I'm like, wait, what? I don't know.
Just misshapen. It's like knockoff. It's like you're looking at the Temu Wizard of Oz characters.
You kind of are. They look like Timo versions of the actual characters. I mean, even in Wicked, when you finally see the Scarecrow, I was just like, nope, don't like that. Nope, sorry, that's not. I know Jonathan Bailey is the sexiest man alive, but right there, that is wrong. Like, I don't know what that CGI is, but absolutely not. I don't know. Maybe when the people first saw Wizard of Oz in 1939, they just looked at the guy who's playing Scarecrow and just went, absolutely not. I do not know what that fabric is over his face, and I don't like it, and that's why it didn't quite work as well as it was intended to.
Also, there were no Munchkins in this, were there?
No, all the Munchkins is dead. Like, that's the like when you go back to Munchkin Land. Yeah, it's all gone. Like, it's just like overgrown, and there are no Munchkins. I'm like no buildings whatsoever. They like raised it to the ground.
Jeez.
This movie's dark. Just like the fact that this was played at birthday parties, the fact that this was just the kind of randomness of when you would rent a kids movie and you didn't know what you were going to get exactly. Mm-hmm. Like, it was always such a kind of like a Russian roulette almost when renting kids movies back in the 80s.
Well, also, it was based on like whatever was at the store.
Yeah.
You know, it was like you really didn't have much choice. It was like, well, what's in? And that's what we're going to rent, you know?
Yes. So I got, like, if it was Labyrinth, if not, I had to get the rip-off Pinocchio, which is weird. Like, there's a casino, it was, again, kids movies and why casinos? I know, Pleasure Island, but this was, no, I think it was a weird time for filmmaking, and I think, 80s movies were actually kind of weird. Like, I think if you really break down, like, except for like the 10 big ones, like E.T. and Back to the Future and all those kind of big ones, I think once you get under that, you realize there was a lot of stuff that was happening there that were just throwing on the wall to see what stuck, especially with video stores and VHS is coming up. Yeah,
well, you know, once again, it's that Ready Player One or Stranger Things ification of the 80s. Yes. Everybody thinks of the 80s. Everybody thinks the 80s. They think it's all like neon and blah blah blah, like
kids
all this bullshit.
And
really, it was like a holdover from the 70s. Really, it was all ugly carpet and like, you know, wood paneling and avocado colored refrigerators, or, you know, like there wasn't this, you know, like you saw on TV maybe some of this idea of this like bright 80s stuff or whatever, but that wasn't how we lived.
No one could afford that. Everyone kind of had the stuff they had in the 70s, and it was very beige, brown, and avocado and orange. It was all that kind of stuff. Like, it wasn't kind of like, you had, like, I remember the toy commercials, and that's why I will always hate Frozen, the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, when they had like a 80s commercial right in the middle of it. I'm like, no. But that was kind of what was on TV. But when you actually look at a lot of the movies, a lot of it is very brown, very ugly, very dark, very cynical. Like it was, yeah, it was a, yeah, I think, I don't know, I think All Dogs Go to Heaven, I feel, does feel very cynical. Wizard of Return to Oz,
yeah, very cynical.
Very cynical. Return to Oz doesn't. I think they're actually trying something genuine. I just think they painted it wrong.
They didn't stick the landing.
No. The plot works. I mean, the plot is fine. Like, Dorothy goes in and saves Oz again. Great. Gnome King. Love the idea. Mamba. Love her. She's great. I just think the way they actually made it, misses the mark a little bit in terms of,
But it's like they really did try to give her a whole new cast of friends, you know?
Which are exactly correspondence to her old friends. It's like, as soon as TikTok shows up, like, Tin Man.
And TikTok's the only one with a cool design.
Yes.
You know, it's true. And he's got that World War One, like doughboy look, you know.
When he doffs his cap, it's great. When he doffs his cap, I'm like, yes. And the fact that he keeps running out is such a great concept. Like the fact that you have to keep winding him up is like brilliant.
But I mean, like, I felt so upset for this idea of, like, you had to wind his mind up separately from his body and stuff, like his consciousness and his like, I felt like at any point he was going to fall into like a Johnny Guy's gun kind of like situation where like he couldn't move and he's just like, kill me now, you know? I felt really.
He does that throughout the movie though. And like the moment when he's trying to organize everyone and then he goes, Jack, tie the things around your legs, which he does, and he starts talking like gobbledygook because his thing is running out, and Dorothy kept forgetting to tell people like, oh, you got to wind them up. Like, I really do love that concept. I think it's very cool, and I think it kind of makes for a really interesting kind of fantasy character of this. Then you have to keep winding up, and if you don't, he does turn into this. Oh my god, my body's stuck, and my brain is like here, and now I can't move, and now I don't know what to do. I do enjoy that.
Yeah. So I think that was definitely the best addition to the to the news story. Yeah.
Yeah, they just needed to work on. Well, they got Jack right eventually. Tim Burton did use him as Jack the Pumpkin King, and I think that worked much better. Like they got the head proportion a little bit to the stick body than they did in Return to Oz, which is the biggest pumpkin you've ever seen.
Oh, and then when he had her checking his head for mold, like I felt so I felt sad. I felt so sad that like he was just gonna become decrepit at some point, you know?
Yeah, he is going to like mold out eventually, and it's just the
and then he kept calling her mom, like he was so sad, like his own mom had sold him out, and so he was just gonna call her mom, like.
And I'm like, Dorothy's 10. Like, what is she? Yeah. I feel like he's apologizing, and she's like, it can't be helped when they're like falling from the sky. It's like, it's very Alice in Wonderland-esque. Like her, this like child having to be the grown up in the room and having to like fix everyone's problems because everyone's kind of like completely like blah, blah. Which I guess is a common trope, but yeah, I really I do like this movie. TikTok is the best, unfortunately. The head thing's still upsetting, especially when she's asleep and you realize she's snoring. How does she snore? She doesn't have a head.
Right, and the jump scare with the head in that. Oh, I didn't. Yeah.
And the fact that all the heads start screaming and it's like,
yeah, that's upsetting. Yeah,
it is upsetting. This movie, both of these movies are upsetting, and I'm just realizing how much of the things I watched as a kid were just upsetting.
Mm-hmm.
Before we finish up, anything else you want to say about Return to Oz before we finish up?
No, I think we hit all the bullet points.
Yeah. The 80s were weird. That's kind of my conclusion to this. Like, constantly putting little girls to work, constantly telling them the kind of imagination, and like, just being very, very upsetting. Again, the 80s were weird. Before we go, please tell us where you can find your good work. Because I know you've just released a new Meryl Streep single.
I have. I just released a Meryl Streep single. It's called The Names. What do you call it? Parentheses, abolish ICE.
Yes.
So this is my protest song. I wrote it in 3 days, and I wrote like a very, very hard jungle drum and bass kind of angry song about being an American at this point in time. And so you can find that. You can find Marital Streep. You can find my other EP, Violent by Consent. It is on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. It's on like every place you can download music. You can find me. And also, I play drums in a band called Sunny Veneer, and we just released a new album a couple weeks ago. So
cool.
We did, and that is called Friday Night Funeral. So you can hear that. Sunny Veneer is spelled Sonny, and then veneer, like, a smile. So yes. So I have a lot of more music coming out than the rest of this year, and I'm excited. So give it a listen.
No, this is brilliant. I'm going to check those out. I am very, very excited. Please listen because, yeah, great music. Of course, you could follow me on, and fuck guys. You can follow me on Schlock Awe 1 or Reading Geek on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Letterboxd. And you can find us on all the pods. Please rate and review, and we will be back with another double feature. All right, thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you.